And thank you for joining us for another episode of Football Theory. We are your host, Ivan Sanchez, along with Alexander Gutierrez. What's up, Guti? How you doing?
Hey, Alex Gutierrez here on the mic. I'm good, man. I'm good. It's the end of June, so new month. Here we go. New opportunities.
Yeah, and you know what that means? We got well, during the time of the recording, we got a Mexico friendly. We got match day. I think by the time it comes out, the game would have already been played. So congratulations, Mexico, on the win. That was a
Oh,
hard fought match. Any quick predictions that you want to say before uh, going to the future?
goodness sakes. Yeah, it's gonna be a 1-0 win for sure. 1-0 win.
It was a 1-0 win. Yeah, you're right.
Right,
All
right.
right, cool. Yeah, good
1-0 win.
1-0 win.
Yeah.
Now, so we have Mexico. They're gearing up for two competitions. You got them in the Gold Cup starting next week. You also have the younger team preparing for the Olympics, and this match in Nashville looks like the majority of them are going to be more of the Olympic-based roster. You also have them playing Nigeria on Saturday in Los Angeles, which will probably be more of the Gold Cup roster. But over the last week or so, you've had both teams kind of mixed together. And, a lot's come out. You have Andres Guardado, who's going to be out for the tournament. You have JJ Macias, who's going to be out for the Olympics. You have Gerardo Ortega, who's going to be out for the Olympics as well. But overall, what are you hoping to see out of these next two friendlies? Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes down to these games, it feels like the summer. Every time the summer comes around, there's always like a problem, right? We have like Copa America, Copa Confederaciones, Copa Oro, like all like usually there's always two tournaments going on, right? Which I guess is like it's okay. It's a cool problem to have, like with so many players getting opportunities, but I never feel like anyone comes out and just tells us what the direction they're taking. So it is kind of weird in a couple of ways that you have Tata Martino even being involved with the Olympic team. When we have an Olympic coach, right? Before the problem was we didn't have an Olympic coach, but the last 2-3 cycles we've had Olympic coaches. So it's like you got the players there. I know you're looking at them. It's kind of a mini camp. It's kind of not. We're bringing in guys from Villarreal just to come and like test the waters. They're not going to play. They're just going to be there. You got guys like being called up last minute, like you said, injuries. Guardado pulled out. Arteaga pulled out personal reasons. JZ Macias, I think he's I don't know, on purpose, maybe trying to sit out. But you have different things going on. So I don't really expect too much, to be honest. It's almost like these are money grabs. And so, what better way to play Panama against, in Nashville, right? So it's just a money grab, man. I don't see too much.
Yeah, I mean, you are, for one, the Olympic more focused squad. They are preparing for a tournament. And these are as much less of a money grab, these two, than they was, let's say, the Honduras game. That one was a
I
true
agree.
money grab. This one, at least you can say you're building to something. And the way the roster, it's like 44 players. So for the most part, you're splitting up. You're going to get your two teams right out of there, right? There's not a lot of wiggle room anymore. You're not bringing in anybody else. From here, you're going to get the two teams, and it's almost like, let's say they're trying to figure out, or you would hope that the idea with the combined camp is, where are we finding really good combination of players that are kind of in between those who can be the Olympics or can be in the Gold Cup? Where are we finding the best mixture of those players that can give us success to both? I think that if I'm being optimistic, I would hope that's what's coming out of these trainings.
I think that's probably one of the plans. Let's see what guys like Tata likes for the future, right? Especially they're trying to make that transition, right? We talked about how a lot of Olympic players are probably some of the best players available anyways right now. So they'll probably will play the qualifier. So I think it's kind of like let me see how they work together with these guys, and then we'll see how it works. And then that way I can call them in the fall and I already know who they are. So I can kind of understand that. It's just kind of weird though. You got like Jimmy Lozano like on the side and his team being coached. So that part is weird for me. But like you said, it's not really an Olympic team playing today. It's a mix of everything. So it's just weird all around. But like you said, it's not that bad. Like when they played Honduras in Atlanta, that was totally obviously mole. But this could work. And Panama is not a top team right now, so it'll give them a good challenge, and it'll be something to get ready for sure.
Yeah, and if you played most of your Olympic-based players for this Panama game, you're not really showing any hands for what you could possibly face them down the line later this month in the Gold Cup. And it's a good opportunity for a team who likes to play Panama style, who might be physical, who might try to rough up the game a little bit for them. And it's a good test for them where maybe soccer skill-wise they might be ahead, but are you able to break this team down, are able to do the little things when you give them this opportunity when given the majority of the ball, to break a more senior team down. I think that's all good positives that you could take from the game being played tonight. And then for for the game on Sunday, again, you're very you don't have a lot of options. Euros is going on, Copa America is going on. You don't have a lot of options for teams outside your own region for friendlies. So
Right.
This is a good opportunity to play a team on paper, Nigeria, who probably is a little higher quality than some of the other teams in CONCACAF, and you're getting something new as well.
Yeah, get ready for some physicality that you're going to probably get in Copa Oro, even though you don't play a team of that caliber, but you play a team from the Caribbean that have like these guys that are very athletic, that could push you around. So it's good to get that little mix in with the team like that, and it's definitely one of the top teams, obviously, in Africa, Nigeria. And I think it's also something like kind of for the Olympics too, because you will play like an African team, so and they've done it before, so it's cool. It's a good option for what's left over. An African team would definitely give you a good competition. I don't see too many Asian teams, from Asia giving them that much of a competition, or even Oceania or Oceania, whatever, Oceania, confederation. So yeah, like you said, out of the best opportunities that they have left, they don't want to play anyone from CONCACAF. CONMEBOL's busy, Europe is busy, so it's a good option. It's a good little
Yeah. And so looking forward to, we don't know the rosters yet completely for both. We have the base idea of both of them right there with the roster that they have of the 44. One keeper is going to miss out completely on them, as you have 3 and 2 and there's 6. So one of them's going to miss. Maybe 1 or 2 players are going to miss both tournaments as well. But one player that we know who's going to be out for the senior team is going to be Andres Guardado, out 6 weeks. Looks like they were hoping that he might have only be out 3 weeks, recovered maybe 4, but it looks like he's going to be out. What do you expect? What are you hoping to see, or what are your overall thoughts moving into the tournament without the captain of the Mexican national team?
I mean, it sounds cold, and obviously, we're still hanging over what happened the last time they played, but nothing to do with that at all. I think it's time to move on anyways. I think it's okay for let's go to a tournament without our veteran, without our captain. A tournament like Copa Oro that is winnable with or without him. I don't think he's the X factor to win it either. So no, it's time for these other midfielders to step up, man. See what Luis Romo can do. See what Luis Romo's going to the Olympics, huh? We'll see what the other young guys can do. Charlie or whoever plays in the midfield. So no, it's time to turn the page, and he's going to be available for the fall, which you do need veterans when you go into Honduras. When you fly into Costa Rica, you are going to need some veterans, but for this kind of Copa Oro in the summer, it's okay. It's been a long year for Guardado too, so it's okay.
Yeah, I think it gives an opportunity for someone like Jonathan Dos Santos, who is now going to be seeing a little bit more of a vet presence, and who sometimes has his spot blocked because of players like Herrera and Guardado. You look at somebody else like Charlie, who has an opportunity depending which roster he's on. You also have your namesake Guti as well. I think he's got brought back in after missing the Final Four in the Nations League. So these guys who actually Guardado has, because of Guardado's presence and what he does, and both as a leader and both his ability to kind of play multiple positions and do a lot for the midfield, I think people kind of forget to value what he does on the field and what he's able to do, the little things and the balance he brings, and the fact that he's done it for a long time. Has played multiple positions. Now it's given opportunity for players like Dos Santos, like Gutierrez, even somebody like Charlie, who they're going to be able to get more games and have more of a chance to prove themselves next to Hector Herrera.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Copa Oro's like, it is competitive as far as like within the region. Like these other teams are going all out, right? So it's not like, oh, it's just Copa Oro. It's like, yeah, it is, but the other teams do go all out. And what a good problem to have, that like we're trying to figure out who's going to the Olympics and who's not, and obviously we know United States didn't qualify. We know some other countries didn't qualify. So they can downplay it all they want, but I feel like it's a good thing that we have this opportunity for that many players. I think that's a good thing for sure. It's better to be in it than not be in it. So that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's unfortunate, I think, for somebody like Macias was going to be out, but like you said earlier, you're hinting at there's possibility he's going to move to Getafe. That looks like that's what's been rumored. I think for a standpoint, moving to La Liga is fantastic. I think moving for a team like Getafe, who plays a rugged style, but it's going to be, it's always hit or miss at times when these players transfer. They have to be almost in a really good position for them to prosper because of, they're not a Brazilian, they're not an Argentine, they don't kind of get the benefit of the doubt sometimes. So it's an opportunity for them to prove. But you're talking about a team who is actually known for a specific style of play in La Liga. What do you think about the possibility of JJ moving to Getafe?
I'm a huge Jota Jota fan since he was like in the U16, U17s doing it. So it's time, man. It's time for him to go. I've been saying it last week, and shout out to La Liga MX, Liga MX podcast, which I was on their show a couple of times. Shout out to them. But we talked about it before. They're big Chivas fans, and and they didn't like when I responded that I thought it was time for him to go. 2 seasons ago, he doesn't want to be in Chivas. You could tell. I mean, you could just tell he's not playing with that same. And you could say, "Oh, Leon was a better playing team." Yeah, but you could just tell. Like, I don't know. I could just see the body language is not there. He's very talented. He's very turn off the switch, turn on the switch kind of player. Plays when he wants to, kind of thing, which we've seen from a lot of Mexican players coming up that kind of pissed us off. But I think it's a good test for him, man. I don't think there's nothing else in Liga MX for him. MLS is not the move right now. So, what better way to go to a small team in España that could probably give him some playing time, give him a chance to play, and quality he has. So hopefully he gets inspired by that and does good.
Yeah, and I think moving to a league like La Liga, what you're going to get is you're going to get the challenge of you being asked to be consistent week in and week out, where that's going to be, you have to show up every day. And I think his move from Chivas is good because the club, whether you're a fan or not, you have to admit it's a mess, whether you like it or not. You can see it in that documentary they had that it's a mess. So I think it's great for him because when he's in the right situation, you've seen him prosper. And and then quickly touching on the last player who's out, Gerardo Ortega, who says he's out for personal reasons. This is a club his club team, Ghent in Belgium, now in the qualifying stages of Champions League. You can see they might want him back for that possibility of a transfer maybe too. So I think for him, where he has an opportunity, might be one of the best left backs that Mexico has. Him being away this summer and focusing on his club, especially if the club sees there's a possibility of a moon soon, I think that for the long term, it's good for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing you're going to play with, right? When you have players in Europe, like we harp about it, like, oh, we want more players in Europe. We want our whole roster in Europe. And obviously, I'll ask you about it later on. But, I think the U.S. national team is starting to see that, like, well, we're going to send our B team because the players aren't available. It's like, that's the thing. When you have players in Europe, you are at the mercy of what these clubs want to do with these players, and they have summer plans too. It's not like they just give them vacation the whole summer. They give them 2 weeks or whatever it may be, and they're back to work and they have games and they have a whole, they have a long season ahead of them, Champions League, like you said, different local competitions they have. So, when you have players that are part of these big leagues in Europe, they get tired and they don't want to be out here. And sometimes some competitions just don't appeal to them. I do think the Olympics are a big opportunity, but I also don't think it's like you have to go. I mean, we know we've seen big names go in and out of the Olympics. Messi, Neymar, they've gone to the Olympics, but I don't think it's like something you have to do. And I think they're saying Macias needs to go. He can get an opportunity. It's like, well, I think if the opportunity is already there to go to Getafe, I can't think of a better opportunity than that. I think, yeah, you can name obviously better clubs, but opportunity is there, right? With the 1-year loan, with like a chance like buying the club. I think buying the car 50% or something like that. Arteaga, the same thing. If he's on a small club and he's playing and he's getting that playing time, that's where he needs to be right now. It's not a hit or miss to go to Olympics. I don't think so. Or go to one of these tournaments,
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And, because the Olympic isn't a FIFA event, they don't have to give them up. And again, these guys this is their investment at the end of the day. They're paying for him. If they don't want to add miles to him, it's completely in their right that they don't have to. Yeah. And so I always find it funny seems like it happens every 4 years when, the qualification for the Olympics happen. And then people start talking about, oh, look at the squad. So-and-so can take, so-and-so can take. I remember you see people talking about, oh, Mexico's going to go up against Mbappe. It's like, no, they're not. No, he's not. He's playing Euros. He's not going to go to the French team after Euros.
Guignac's going, though.
The club would never allow him to play 2 tournaments in the summer like that. And so, I always find it funny when we make this big deal about the possibility of what the roster could look like, because it's never going to look like that, because these clubs also have an investment and a huge investment in these players. And so it has to be what works for them because that's where they're spending the majority of their time.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget. I mean, when Mexico won the gold, Oribe Peralta was the forward, right? And we had a better player, more, obviously a hotter player at the time, Chicharito, who, was in London. I mean, it was in Manchester at the time, and the Olympics were in London, and they didn't let him go. We're talking about, he's in the country. They're like, no, he's not playing the Olympics. So like, it's something that, you might want the best players to go, but the clubs have an interest in their players and they can't just let them go. I think obviously we know Neymar was allowed to play, I think last time, just because it was the Olympics in Brazil. But I don't think that's going to happen. Something like that won't happen again. It's something like, well, they haven't won the gold medal before. They were hurt that they lost the time before to Mexico, and they were at home, right? So it's like we got to get the gold this one opportunity we have. So, I think we got to get over that too. And I'm okay with the younger guys going. The Olympics were meant for that, right? The Olympics were, I guess the story before was the Olympics were created, obviously, and then the World Cup came after because the Olympics said no more pro players, right? So because of no more pro players, then like FIFA was created and they started doing these World Cups. That's why they're on off years, right? But that's what the Olympics are for now. It should be younger guys. It should be guys that are trying to get opportunities. It doesn't have to be the younger guys that already have consolidated themselves, right? Like a Linus, that he's kind of like in the middle where like, oh, he's kind of made of a name for himself. In Mexico, obviously, we know who he is, but he could use this to even get to another level. But other players like a Tecatito or even like Ochoa, like they don't need to be going to the Olympics, in my opinion. Like it's like, for what, bro? Like you're 30 something years old, Ochoa. Like, and that's a different story. We talked about that before. So yeah, good luck to them. I think we'll be okay, and we'll see how they do against these two teams coming up.
Yeah, that's right. And and next week we'll get more deeper into the Gold Cup because that'll start next weekend. So look for that. But right when we come back, we got Euros, we got Copa America. Things are heating up. We got knockout football. So we'll get right to that right after this.
Perfect. All right, I got my Euros thing open right here too. So you beat me on the picks. You beat me 5-3. So I went back and played it. I went back and played it. I wrote them down and stuff. I was like, okay, so we'll do our picks for this round too.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Whenever you're ready, hit it.
All right, welcome back to Football Theory. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Catch us on our individual Twitters as well. We always talking about a bunch of things besides soccer, but